G'day guys, welcome back to OWP. Today I decided to do a little bit of AFL 2019 Ladder Predictions. So I hopped on to the AFL Ladder Predictor website, did a few game selections. Well, when I say a few, I mean like the whole season. And so yeah, here's the end result. In 18th position, there's not too much surprise here. It's the Gold Coast Suns. Not much thought went into this one. I had them winning one game for the season, and then just with their chemistry, they've got to restart the whole chemistry. It's just a big mess over in Gold Coast, so I have them finishing dead last. In 17th position, I have the Carlton Blues. Now, Carlton are a bit unlucky here, but I suppose they're the only team that's going to finish below every other team. But I really do like their list. They've got Cripps dominating in the midfield. He's just a tank, future Brownlow medalist. But then they've got Charlie Curnow in the forward line. And I really like Charlie's game. He's just a gun. He's a unit, he's a legend. But the teams, they're just too good. Like Carlton, I don't see them being better than any other team, let's put it that way. In 16th position, I have the Western Bulldogs. Now, some might say, this is a silly choice, but I really don't see the Bulldogs finishing any higher than 16th. Like, I really respect their midfield with Bontempelli and McRae. They're just legends, but they're not working as well as they can be as a team. So give them a few years, they'll be back to their premiership best, but for 2019, I have them finishing 16th. In 15th position, I have the Sydney Swans. Now, some might say this is a bit controversial, but most of the higher class, like media people, they're ranking Sydney outside the 8. And I have also ranked them outside the 8 because they're not the team they used to be. You could see at the end of last year that they were just losing that Sydney firepower that they used to be. But they've lost a few players. Some of their really gun players are getting old. They haven't really brought in that X factor that some other clubs have. So yeah, I've just got Sydney finishing 15th, so yeah. In 14th spot, I have the Port Adelaide Power. Now, don't get me wrong, Port are a really good side, but as you could see last year and the year before, they just can't consistently play good football. Like, they play a patch there where they have a really good 3 or 4 games, but then it's just lost. Like, they're just a team that needs to build consistency. So they've got a really nice forward line, a really nice midfield, but they just don't work together. But once they start working together, they will be an absolute force in the future. In 13th position, I have the North Melbourne Kangaroos. Now, North, they were really unexpected what they did last year. They came out, everyone was writing them off as soon as the season started, but they really surprised the AFL world, finishing around 9th or 10th, I can't really remember. But we've got some nice recruits in the off-season, like Jasper Pittard, Aaron Hall, Polek. They're really good guys, and I think they will be a good team, but they just won't be up there with the best of the best. As we saw in the JLT, they kind of slumped a bit to the Saints, but yeah, we'll see how they go in 2019. In 12th position, I have the Fremantle Dockers. Now, Freo aren't that good, but, well, they weren't that good last year. But for Freo to be a really good side, they need to have a fit and healthy Nat 5. That is step 1 to Freo being a very good side. And with their 2 new inclusions of Jesse Hogan and Rory Lobb, if Fife and Lobb and Hogan can work together, they'll be a really good side. But they need to find that chemistry first, because they don't want to be just a bunch of dills running around on the field like they don't know anything. But once they click, they'll be a good side. That's why I've got them ranked 12th, because I see potential with the Freo Dockers. In 11th spot, I have the Hawthorn Hawks. Now, Hawthorn, they're a really good side. Like, they made finals last year. They were very good. But with the injury of Tom Mitchell, I'm not sure how the Hawks will go. Like, I'm not quite sure if Tom Mitchell will make the team, or break the team, but he's a Brownlow medalist, and losing a Brownlow medalist could make the Hawks have a big form slump in 2019. But we'll see how they go, because they've still got those really good players. And also the Hawks, they didn't really do too well in the JLT, losing to Brisbane by such a large margin. That could indicate where we see the Hawks in season 2019. In 10th position, I have the Geelong Cats. Now, Geelong have sort of been on the 8th to 9th position in the ladder in the last couple of years. They haven't really been their best as they can be, especially with that midfield of Dangerfield, Selwood, Ablett. I personally think that midfield is slightly overrated. Like, they're all getting old, they're not as good as they used to be, and Tom Hawkins is really the only one in the forward line. Without him, I don't know how the Cats would go, but we'll see how they go. I have them finishing 10th, and with their home ground advantage at Skilled Stadium, it's just, they are really good. So we'll see how they go, but 10th position for me for the Cats. In 9th spot, I have the GWS Giants. Now, this may come as a controversial decision to some AFL fans, because the Giants, they're a really strong, fast, up-and-coming team. Like, they're a really, really good team. But I think GWS's greatest weakness is playing in Melbourne. Because to be a good AFL side and win premierships, you need to be able to win on the MCG. And GWS have not proven that. Like, GWS are a really good side elsewhere, but not at the G. And I think everything else about the Giants is really great, but I just don't think they'll make finals football this year. In 8th position, I believe the Brisbane Lions will finish 8th in 2019. Brisbane, they're a very, very underrated side. Like, I truly believe they are the most underrated side in the comp. They have a really, really nice backline, with Harris Andrews absolutely rocking it back there. He'll be All-Australian, if he wasn't already All-Australian last year, I can't really remember. But they've also got in the midfield, they've got Neil, Zorko, and Witherden. And Witherden is a star. He's a young star, he's already a star. He's just going to be the future of the Lions. And also, the Lions have proven to the AFL world that they aren't mucking around. In the JLT series, they pumped Hawthorn by 40 points. That's just a sign of what's to come for the Lions. In 7th position, I have the Essendon Bombers. Now, some might say that they should finish higher, like maybe top 4 now, but don't count Essendon out of the top 4. Like, they will be top 4 either next year or the year after, with the midfield of Heppel, Shield, Merritt, and Zaharakis. And then the other players like Hurley in the back line. They've got Tip and Woody and all those guys in the forward line. When all those players start working together, it will be magic down at Bomberland. But they need some time to work it out. Finishing 6th in 2019, I have the St Kilda Saints. Yeah, you heard me. The St Kilda Saints. In the media, they've been labelled, they're going to be disappointing. They're going to be crap. Richo's going to lose his job. I'm here to prove all those media people wrong. They've had about 5 years to work together as a team, to figure out that chemistry. And I really think the way they played in the JLT series, that just proves and shows the AFL world that the St Kilda Saints are ready. They're not mucking around. In the forward line, you've got Billings, this is his breakout year. Bruce, who's looking beautiful after a broken leg. And also Membry. Membry, once he gets his goal kicking right, will be a star, because he's a gun marker. In the midfield, you've got Hanbury, Ross, Stephen, hopefully he comes back. Well, they'll run the ball, they're really quick, got legs, and also got Gresham in the middle. Gresham will play lots of midfield in 2019. Mark my word. He's a little master, Jade Gresham. You'll grab the crumbs and you kick it straight into the forward line and will kick goals. And don't forget about Max King. Max King, they've given him number 12. They're already giving him the name of the next Nick Revolt. So once the midfield and the forward, and they're also the defence, they've got Josh Battle, Nathan Brown. They're the lockdown defenders. Hopefully Carlisle isn't out for too long. But once that whole team of St Kilda starts working together, they are a genuine competitor in 2019. Don't go walking past the Saints. They're a great side. And 2019, I hope, is the year that they prove to the AFL world they're not mucking around. Finishing 5th in 2019, I have the Collingwood Magpies. Now, Collingwood, they're a great side. They played in the grand final last year. They played very well in the grand final last year. They could have been premiers, but they weren't premiers. Collingwood, they're a really good side. They've got incredible midfield. They've got Dane Beams, Adam Treloar, Scott Pendlebury, Jordan DeGoey, and then Brodie Grundy the Rock, probably one of the best ruckmen in the league. And then in the forward line, they've got guys like Mason Cox, who're tall up there. So they've got a really, really good side, and they've certainly got the chemistry worked out because they made this grand final last year. Don't walk past Collingwood, they're a great side. They will make finals, they will go deep into the finals, but yeah, they will finish 5th in 2019, in my opinion. In 4th spot, I have the Adelaide Crows. Now, Adelaide, they really had a bad season last year, coming off that grand final defeat, and God knows what happened in their off-season last year, but whatever happened, it was very disappointing, and it really took the X factor out of the Crows, because in 2017, they finished 1st, they were a very good side, best team in the competition, and then were just unlucky in the grand final. But with the inclusion of Brad Crouch coming back, and Brodie Smith coming back, and with their current team with Sloan and Tex and Matt Crouch, they're just a really, really good side. And I have the Crows being a genuine contender for the flag in 2019. Finishing 3rd in 2019 will be the Melbourne Demons. Now, Melbourne really, really proved to us last year that they are a genuine contender for the flag. Making the prelim, and it wasn't the prelim that they were hoping for, let's be honest. They probably should have done better in the prelim, but West Coast, they were just way too strong going on to win the premiership. So we can't hate on Melbourne for that. If they played in the grand final last year, could have done very well and quite possibly beat Collingwood. But in 2019, I think they are also a really, really top chance to win the premiership, because Melbourne, they did prove to us last year, and they've got the midfield and the forward line and the defence to prove to us. And the big bloke Max Gawn, he's just a legend. And so the culture around Melbourne is just really good. I think Melbourne will finish 3rd in 2019 just because they've got the X factor. They are on the brink of absolutely showing us what they can do. Finishing 2nd in 2019, I've got the West Coast Eagles. What's there to say? West Coast, they're the reigning premiers. They were the best side in the comp. They proved that to us last year by winning the grand final. They've got an excellent forward line of Darling and Kennedy. They've got an incredible midfield run by Luke Shuey. And they've also got an incredible backline. They all work together, they've got the chemistry, they're a grand final side, they're going to go deep into 2019, and yeah, there's not much more to say. They're the reigning premiers, and they'll finish 2nd. Now finishing 1st in 2019, the Richmond Football Club. Now, the Tigers, they were robbed last year, they deserved to make the grand final. They won the premiership in 2017, and that was just an incredible year for the Tigers. And I believe they'll make the grand final in 2019 because they didn't deserve to lose the prelim last year. They're an incredible side. They've got everyone on their team's pretty much a premiership player, and just throw in Tom Lynch, one of the best key forwards in the comp, and you've got an absolute all-star team. They will go also deep into the finals and possibly win the grand final with the star power they have on their team. And their coach, Damien Hardwick. He's just a great coach. The culture at Richmond is just really good at the moment, and I strongly believe that the Richmond Tigers will be minor premiers in 2019. Yeah, alrighty, so if you really like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up down below, hitting that like button. Let's see if we can get as many likes as possible on this video. And if you haven't already, please hit that red subscribe button down below and hit the bell next to it, because I want you to be notified whenever I upload. I'd love you to watch all the videos that I upload. And yeah, being subscribed just makes that a whole lot easier. So make sure to stick around for awesome content like this. I'll be uploading hopefully every second week, possibly every first week. Or every week, sorry. And yeah, so stick around for awesome content. Thanks for watching.